Right, today we're gonna go ahead and do a Lovable walkthrough with my man, all the way out there. You're in Dallas Fort Worth right now, right?
I am in Dallas, yes. What's up, buddy?
Wonderful, man. So, Uganda, you're gonna go out there and basically, proud Product Gym alumni. You are
Yes.
now leveling up on AI skills, and you're gonna be giving us a walkthrough on Lovable and ChatGPT about this translation app that you recently built. First and foremost, what got you interest, like out of all the side projects you could have taken on, why a translation app?
Well, so this one is actually one that actually fills a need for like me as a product manager, anyone who's a product manager, because and it's a stakeholder translation translator app, right? So it's a one-page web app that takes a single message and basically instantly translates it into audience-specific versions. So a lot of times, or we may have something that we would want to communicate to either different stakeholders, executives, other PMs, sales and customer success, or engineers, designers, etc. And so, rather than having to write multiple versions of and trying to reframe the same content, what you do is you just put your initial content into this translator and it can give you different versions for different audiences. There's even like a function to have one for like recruiters. So if you want to like put something in there for something you've worked on and have it translated for something you can use with recruiters, you can also do that as well.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, without further ado, man, show us what you got.
Okay. Just share my screen here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you see?
I can.
All right, so here it is. Again, the whole thing was built in Lovable, and I'll walk you guys kind of through my process once we get going here. But let me just grab a quick message that I have here. So again, I just kind of put this together. Hey, we just launched version one of our stakeholder translation app. Just kind of giving an overview summary. I just kind of put in there when we plan to release it, working with beta customers. Again, this is just stuff that I just put together just to like test and show it out. Um, so you can, okay, we're doing this to inform, so we'll use that. And then let's say we want to send to executives, let's say we want to send to our sales, and then let's also do it for recruiters as well. When you click on that one, it gives you, you can choose what kind of framework you wanted to translate it, create it for. You can do both, star or digs. I'll leave it on both for now. I'll do short in terms of the length for now, and then hit translate. And then voila, we have a version that would be tailored to executives. You can read through that there. And then one that is more geared towards sales and CS who um, would use that one. And then for recruiters, if you wanted it in like star format, you kind of have that there. And then you also have a version in digs format. Um, so different communication priorities, right, for different groups. Obviously, with executives, it's more business impact. And then talk tracks for sales and CNS, and then the different frameworks for recruiters. Oops, sorry. So yeah,
No.
that's
What
what we got.
about, tell me a little bit more about that function right there that you have called intent. Right here it says inform. If you hit
Mhm.
the drop down menu, what other options do we have on here? Ask, update, and what celebrate?
Celebrate as if like, well, let's say you just want to like kind of shout out or something's built. I mean, we can run it and see what it comes up with for this message. It'd be interesting, right? Do it live.
Mhm.
Um, well, So it just kind of reframes it from more like um you're kind of giving shouts out or like
Got it. Got
um
it. Well, how were you able, like, did you use anything on the back end for how you, like, how the tone or um how the context of the communication comes out based on intent? Like, how did you program it?
yes. Yeah, so it's connected to in Lovable it's connected to chat Gemini, I believe I'm using.
Okay.
So you use like AI to come up with the content.
Got it. Got it. Okay. How long
Mhm.
did this translator app take you?
Um, honestly, once I got into Lovable, it probably took about an hour or so. The most of the work is done beforehand, really just kind of building out the prompts, kind of thinking through specifically what I want. And I can show you some of that, which I
Please.
usually do in Chat GPT before I even get to Lovable. And so that once I get to Lovable, by the time I get to Lovable, I already even have all my prompts laid out.
Hmm.
And it's just kind of feeding Lovable the prompts in a modular fashion so that I can have it do a small piece of work, test it out, just basically iterating through the process, the development process once it's in Lovable. But
Got it.
I'll kind of show you how my process was for this. So um again, I just had the idea from like a from a translator app and thought this would like it would be a fun project to build for something basically translating to different audiences, right, as opposed to translating to different languages. So this is where everything started, and I just dictated this using Whisper, so it wasn't even like anything super formal or technical. I just hit dictate and said what I wanted to build, um, and then ChatGPT gave me back this. And then we just kind of started going back and forth. At that point, I was like, get like, and so okay, so I'll to go back a little bit. So I actually have this project set up already. Like, this project, I fed it different documents and stuff from stuff that I've read in the past or whatever. Basically, this is like my thought partner project. It helps me think through things. So it already has it already has documents and stuff that I've uploaded to it to kind of help guide it. And I also like gave it the instructions, right? So that's why. And then I was like, okay, it asked me, did the flow, does this flow match the mental model of what I had? I said yes. I said I didn't, it had a tone knob and a couple other things that I didn't think I needed. So I was like, oh, let's not do that. And then I asked it to give me the PRD and the technical implementation guide. It did all that. So we went back and forth, just kind of refined that. And then at the end of it all, I had a PRD, like a short PRD I can put into the custom knowledge section of Lovable, a full PRD for my own records, and then also a technical implementation guide, which I also could put in Lovable. Then after that, I go into another project that I have built where I basically input the Lovable PRD. So this image was from the last project I just came from. So I input the Lovable PRD, which is basically a short version that can go into the knowledge section in Lovable. And this is
Mhm.
basically it. It's like the purpose, translate a single message, blah, 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 goals, different audiences, the core
Loving this
features.
prompt. Uh,
Core. Yeah, so again, part of how I have it built out is that it gives me the prompts in markdown format. And so the design, all that is kind of scoped out already. And once I put that in, um part of the documents in this that I uploaded to this project were actually from Lovable's documents, like, best practice of writing prompts, etc. I just basically kind of copied all that and put it into this project, so it has a clear framework of how to do all that. All right, so then it gives me a series of prompts. So this was the first prompt. I usually like to start with the like telling Lovable to just like create a blank app so that it's not everything's just completely blank. And from there, I think it gave me like 10 or so prompts. I would input them one by one, test it, make sure it's working before moving on to the next prompt. Um, and when it did this initially, it didn't integrate the AI. So I asked, does this prompt chain account for integrating AI? As you know, Lovable has recently introduced the AI feature now, so it just makes it super easy. You don't have to manually go and do all the adding of API keys, etc. It's all kind of built in there.
Right.
Cool. Um, so then it gave me some additional prompts to integrate the AI. But what I started off with was I didn't integrate the AI at first. I just basically built out so here we are in Lovable, and this is where I started. I basically say create a blank app, and it just gives me like a white background and says blank app. And then the next thing I do, this was that. So this is the first prompt from my prompt chain there previously we just looked at. Um, and then yeah, I just went through the process of adding of, it would do the first prompt, make sure it's okay. The second one was adding the main translation interface, which was some version of this. And then I would just test, make sure like it had these features there, test them as much as I could, and then just go through the process. And then once it did all that, and the UI worked, etc., the way I wanted, then I came back and went through the process of integrating the AI towards the end, testing it, and then um, basically publishing it.
Damn, yo. Damn, 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 damn. That is legit. That is really legit. Uh, that is very legit. Like, to think when you did the program just a few years back, I mean, how long ago was that?
Uh, 3.5 years ago, maybe four, something like that.
How fast things have gotten compared to if you take a look at like what product management was 3 years before you called
Yeah.
us, probably the delta wasn't that wide, right? So if you're talking about like 2022, I don't think there was a
Mhm.
lot of difference other than like post-COVID working remote, like 2022 versus 2019, or even 2019 versus 2016. But if you're talking about the delta of like 2022 to 25, and I think if you're talking about the delta of like 2020 at your trajectory right now, how fast AI is moving, 2025 to 2028, that thing is just going to trend straight up. Uh, like now that you compared to like when you started this the AI track, right?
Yeah.
How like what ideas has that given you now in terms of what else you could do to weaponize this knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when ChatGPT and all this stuff kind of started, however many years ago now it was, I forget, was it 2022 or whenever? Um, I really dove in um pretty early, but work, life, etc., all that kind of sidetrack things. Um, and then it was, and then it wasn't until like earlier this year when when we spoke, and then I kind of jumped back in and was like, okay, I really need to like start being intentional about this stuff because the next couple of years, like you said, that delta is just going to continue. And so, yeah, I mean, for now, for me, it's just like finding use cases, stuff that I use like this is something I use right now. Even like when I'm crafting messages and trying to share stuff, like I'll just throw it in here, and I don't have to write six different or four or five different versions of the same email. I can just throw it in here, and I can send it to different stakeholders. And then I'm working on something else, which I'll share with you later, that also I think will help our teams internally. And the cool thing about it is I can test it with I'm going to share this with other people that I work with on in the company internally in my team, and then kind of see where it goes from there. Maybe it becomes something that I share outside of that. Um, but yeah, so it's just kind of building different use cases for me, just continuing to develop the muscle of using these tools and learning these tools, and also like hopefully being able to like show other people how to use them and how to leverage them and do training there. Obviously, working with you guys at Product Gym too, and doing that is cool. Um, so yeah, for me now it's just continue to get reps, continue to develop, continue to build out side projects, continue, and then also do build things for people. I think there's lots of opportunities with legacy businesses and small business owners to kind of help them automate stuff, whether it's well, with N8N or other tools like that. So yeah, there's a lot coming up. There's a lot of opportunity. I think it's just continuing to grow, and I think those of us who are starting on the journey now or kind of picking it back up, hopefully we'll be positioned to be at the forefront of things going forward.
Myself included, my man, myself included. Yeah, I think like if you're taking looking at this app right here, I craft a lot of times I'll craft an email, let's just say for prospective students.
Hmm.
But like then I'd have to, I mean, I would do it very manually, like just copy and I would think to myself, like this would also be a great LinkedIn post or an email for people that are thinking about joining Product Gym. But I also feel like it's so relevant to people that are already joined Product Gym or had done the program a few years ago. And I probably spend about 30 to 35 minutes sometimes just going like thinking to myself how I can go out there and structure it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like having something like this would just be able to get it all done. So, oh
Yeah.
man, it's a lot of time because the you're trying to get the same things done across, but sometimes the way that you have to communicate to a software engineer versus communicating to marketing or communicating
Hmm.
to finance. So it's not a really good use of your time, but it's still very necessary because you're trying to drive just a little bit forward every single day in product. Um, yeah, man, this was amazing. This was amazing. Keep sharing with us. Thank you for taking time to share your project. Uh, is this thing ready for use yet for people, outside of you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's you can actually go I'll send you the link and then you can put it in the video. It'll be great if people want to use it and give me feedback. That'll be super cool. The only thing I will say is I didn't build a backend for it yet, so it doesn't save. So if you put something in there, and you go away and you come back or refresh the page, like if I refresh now, it's not going to save. But, not necessarily something that that can always be added later at a for a different version. But you can copy. It doesn't have I haven't done the email integration yet, but you can copy it. It's copied to clipboard, and then you can save it wherever. Um, so yeah,
This is it, right? Stakeholder dash. Let me see here.
yeah.
Stakeholder.
I'll throw it in
Yeah.
the chat to you, and then you can yeah, just put it in. I'll send it to you, and then
Lovable app.
when you post the video, you can put it in the link of the video too, so people.
100%, man. We got you. Thank you so much for sharing. For all the aspiring product managers or even experienced product managers out there, do not sleep on this. The journey has to start now. There's never a good time. So let's just make that good time right now. Yana, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. Like he took time out of his Saturday morning to go out there and do this for y'all. We'll go ahead and chat with you very soon, man. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right. Thanks, Rich, and thanks for everything you do for the community. We appreciate it.
Yeah.